The rich don't work for money. Don't you touch that stuff. You know, the banker friends, they're not working for money.
They have money working for them.
Yep.
Right.
My Sunday school teacher's a young, pretty woman, you know, and she said, I'm like 9. And she goes, why were the 3 wise men wise? You know, I go, because they were rich. You know, they gave the swaddling Jesus gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So they had to be rich guys, I said.
And they know commodities as well.
Yeah, good idea. And she goes, no, that's not it. I said, well, they had gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Well, that's not it. So why were they wise? You know what? I don't know. She says, what made them wise was they always sought the best teacher. And she says, if you're going to be successful in your life, you've got to find the best teachers. And so with that, when my poor dad said, go seek out your rich dad, I was just following her advice. And today, that's why you and I know Jim Rickards and Nomi Prinz and all these people. They're the guys that actually came from the inside, just like you, from the inside the machine. And they know what's going on. And they tell the world what's going on. So I've had a habit ever since then, or a policy, if I find out there's a great teacher, and a great teacher is somebody who comes from the inside, not the outside. You know, when I was in flight school, I swear to God, my instructors could fly because I flew with them. But in school, you don't know if your instructor is for real or not. That's where the fake teacher comes from. When I was in my MBA program, I was still in the Marine Corps. Came back from the war. I'm in the MBA program, and back then, this is 73 now, and the students were spitting on me, yelling at me at the University of Hawaii, you know.
Wow.
I'm there, I was stupid enough to go in my Marine Corps outfit, my flight suit. And they were yelling at me, baby killer and all this. I'm sitting in this classroom, and my MBA accounting teacher doesn't know accounting, and I'm going nuts. I'm not an accountant, but I knew he wasn't an accountant also, so I took him on. I said, are you an accountant? He goes, I have a master's in accountancy. I said, that's not the question. Are you an accountant? I have a master's in accountancy. And I stood up and I said, you know, Marines are not the brightest guys. I said, are you an accountant? Same answer. I said, you're a fake. You don't know what you're talking about. And to this day, when I listen to what people are teaching kids about accountancy, it's bad accountancy.
Right, because it's not practical. It's not real world.
It's confusing.
Right.
And you know, assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money from your pocket. They count anything of value as an asset. They count your car as an asset, your house as an asset. When it's really taking money from your pocket. Your retirement plan, guess what? It's a liability. It's taking money from your pocket every month. And whose pocket does it go to? Wall Street or City of London. And that's why, as you and I know, these funds, you know, they sit there, they go, assets under management. That's what they're paid on. You're not making any money, but they're making fortunes on the fees and assets under management. And most of these hedge fund guys and all that, you're not making any money, but they're sucking the fees out every day.
Right.
And again, that's why I was yelling at the accounting teacher. I said, an asset is a noun, like a house. Cash flow is a verb. So to understand if it's an asset or liability, it takes a noun plus verb. So if the cash is flowing out of your pocket, it's a liability. If the cash is flowing into your pocket, asset, verb, it's an asset. So I own 7,000 rental properties. Those are assets. Every month, the cash flows in. Whereas many people have the big house on the hill and the cash is flowing out.
Right.
And they're going broke. I said, I want you to teach me about money. So why should I teach you? You go to school, my poor dad's not going to teach you. I said, oh, finally he acquiesced. He said, okay. He says, but if I teach you, you work for me for free. And I said, why for free? And my poor dad went nuts. He says, because if I pay you, you think like an employee. Your brain will change. if you learn never to work for money, you'll be a rich man. So my dad, the poor dad.
And the backstory for people, your dad was the poor dad.
Right.
PhD.
Stanford, Northwestern, University of Chicago, the head of education for the state of Hawaii, candidate for lieutenant governor of Hawaii as a Republican of all things. They know nothing about money, and they teach our kids.
Right.
They're good people, like 80% are good people. 20% just are there for the pension and the paycheck, we know that. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Rich Dad's lesson number 1, the rich don't work for money. Don't you touch that stuff.
You said when someone gives you a paycheck, something inside of a person just shuts off, right?
Well, it's not even that. They've already sucked the life out of your paycheck.
Right.
You see, in 71, that's where fake starts. My rich dad sent me a letter. I was stationed on an aircraft carrier off Vietnam. And it says, hey, did you know that Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard? And we didn't know. We're not in the banking industry. And he says, watch out, the world's going to change. So by the time I got the letter, it was 72. And then my co-pilot and I said, well, what does gold and gold standard mean? But we didn't know. Was illegal for Americans to own gold in 72. Imagine that.
Wow.
That's how powerful gold was. And the more I researched it, the more I found out. So my co-pilot and I, where the book starts, fake starts, we fly behind enemy lines to go look for gold, which proves Marines are not that smart.
You were quite a wild one, weren't you, Robert?
Yeah, we went to look for gold, and we're standing in front of this little Vietnamese woman who's the broker for the gold company, and she's selling this little cubes, little nuggets of gold. And then, gold was 35 an ounce. It was now pushing 50 an ounce. So I figured, well, she's behind enemy lines. We're behind enemy lines. I can negotiate a deal. And she's a little tiny woman, little red teeth, because they chew beetle nuts all day long. And I go, I'll give you $40. And she goes, ha, ha, ha. So what's she laughing about? We're behind enemy lines. I got US dollars. She goes, ha, ha, ha. And then I realized she knew more about money than I did. I don't think she went to Harvard. Do you know what I mean? She knew that this was worthless. The gold was worth more than my dollars. And that's where the fake money comes from. And then I got curious. And I'm going, so why did they take dollar off the gold standard? And what does this mean? What don't we know? And it followed with my rich dad. The pieces of the puzzle kept falling into place. So what that meant was in 71, they could print as much money as they wanted. So as the economy of the United States worsened, the trade deficit was going up, they could print and print and print and print. So that's why when you read fake, it says, the people that are being screwed today are the poor and middle class because they work for money. The banker friends, they're not working for money.
They have money working for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Very big difference in mentality here. So we have, in America today, we have, even Ray Dalio of Bridgewater, one of the biggest hedge fund guys in America. He's saying this gap between the rich and everybody else is too wide. Well, you could have seen that back in 1972. Because the moment you corrupt money, the very thing that everybody works for, saves, counts on, they were screwed anyway. And our school systems, fake money, fake teachers, fake assets, part of that same system. Government, education, Wall Street, or City of London.